Whether you're new to the Sound Shore or have called it home for years, Sound Shore Family Guide is here for you. We bring you insider tips on schools, sports, local happenings, and parenting in our amazing community. Let's navigate family life in Larchmont and Mamaroneck together.
Hi, welcome to the Sound Shore Family Guide. My name is Elka, and our first guest for today is Sasha Cohen. Sasha, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited you're here. Sasha, tell us where you moved from.
So I actually lived in the city for 10 years about, right out of college, moved right there. And then I lived in Park Slope, which I loved for 3 years. And then COVID hit and life was crazy. And we had a 3.5-year-old running around. And so we moved here.
So for all those people that might be moving here from Brooklyn and Manhattan, you see, you're not alone. Most of us used to live there. So then you came here and you started your own business.
Yes. So I actually came here and I was very pregnant, and I had my second daughter at that time. And my husband was commuting, and I kind of decided, like, I don't know if we both can commute. I think that it was overkill, and I wasn't loving what I was doing at the time. And so I started my own business, which was really shocking to everyone, including my husband and family. And but it's been the best thing.
And what is the
ever.
business?
So I do everything that falls under marketing and branding for local businesses. So a lot of them are female-owned or, co-owned. And in general, I help with everything from running their social media to doing their content to helping out with events and collaborations. And I love being connected on a local level because I had for so long been working on a more national level in the city.
And again, I think that's one thing that really separates us. Again, I don't know what other towns are doing. I'm sure they're doing the same thing. But what I do love about Larchmont and Mamaroneck is how community-driven we are. And to your point, I love what you're doing because you're helping small businesses succeed.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. So going back to your children and things, so because this is like our family segment here. How many kids do you have? What nursery school do they attend? And what activities do they do?
So I have 2 girls. I have a 3-year-old. So she is in nursery school right now. And I have a just 7-year-old. So both my daughters attended, one still attends, Liberty Montessori, which is at the end of Orienta Avenue. And we've had the best experience there.
What do you love about it?
I love that they truly focus on the fundamentals of life when kids are very young, and their big kind of pillars are kindness and manners, which are things that I think are really, really important.
So
and it's also an international school. They speak to them in 3 different languages, which is really cool. And both my girls have been so happy there and learned so much.
Good. That's what you want.
Awesome.
In nursery school especially.
They're just happy, which is what you want. You want your kid to want to go to school when they're 3 years old.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
And do they do any activities after school?
They do a lot of activities. Actually, right now they're at art class.
Where?
They go to One River in Larchmont, and my older daughter is very into art, and my younger one just started. She was very nervous, and they were incredibly welcoming to her. And she came home last week, her first time ever, and said, "I'm so proud of me," which was adorable. And she said, "Are you proud of me?" And I said, "Of course I'm proud of you." So art is a big thing in our house, and they do a lot of after school activities. I know the joke is often like boys have a lot of energy. My daughters have a lot of energy, and they love to, they don't sit around. So they're either at an activity or at the playground pretty much after school till dinner time.
And what activities do they do after school?
So they do dance, Magical Movements, which is in Harrison. And we've had a wonderful experience there. I'm in love with the woman who founded it, and she's just so committed. And once again, like the principles of it and just the community aspect there, it's just really amazing. So both my girls go there, actually. My little one does ballet there. My older one does hip hop and now tap. And it's amazing. I just watch her do her routine. And then we do soccer, which we have been with foster soccer since the beginning, and that's been a wonderful program. And
do you do foster soccer because it kind of just starts in the school system? Like they do a lot at the schools? Is it something after school or on the weekends that you do foster soccer?
Yeah, it's actually not related to the school at all. When I moved here and I didn't have something as amazing as this, I pretty much looked on the Mamaroneck Larchmont kind of Facebook group, and everyone said, do foster. Ben Foster is so incredible. He's amazing, and he focuses a lot on community and like the skills of soccer as well as kind of having fun playing soccer. Like, we're not all going to be pro soccer players. And so we have done that. And so that's a weekend activity not related to school. And then we also do gymnastics, which is actually at ISG in Portchester for my older one. And they do a lot of camps, and they... I have to say they are obsessed with Build4life.
What's Build4life?
It is, words cannot express my feelings, my love for Build4life. It is a group that was created all based on social skills and friendship and kindness woven into fun. So they do everything from, it takes place at Flint Park in Larchmont. They do tons of activities. They're doing kind of old school activities too, like tug of war, and they're building with Legos, but they're still having the best time. And they're taught to, it's all ages, like it's like 3 to 13-year-olds are there. So everyone's learning to be independent, and just the amount of commitment to, there's the laughter every time I, go and pick them up there. They love Build4life. They have amazing experience there. And then during the summer, they go to Westchester Jewish Center, to Westchester Summer Day, which is
in Orienta.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
That's been great.
So so keeping them busy, lots to do here in the community. So thank you so much, Sasha. And I want to tell all of you out there that are watching and listening to please stick around. We have one more little surprise for you from Sasha Cohen. Claudine, thank you so much for being here at the LMC Media Studio on the Ave for the Sound Shore Family Guide.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Claudine is here for Build4life, and something that I just heard about very recently, and I'm very curious to know more. So thank you for being here to tell everybody what you're all about.
Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity. Build4life was started about 4 years ago. Basically, it was born out of the realization that our kids are having a hard time socializing. Or if they are socializing, they don't know how to navigate nuances. There are some kids who can come across as a leader, but might be struggling, actually. And then there are other kids who, when you drive by the playground at recess, they're all by themselves. So we develop programs for children who typical children, neurotypical children, and then also children who might have an IEP, but children who just need some modeling, need some practice in positive social skills and how to build their confidence and how to work through some of that, icky stuff that they don't know or who to ask. So locally, we've been in all the elementary schools at recess.
Oh, wonderful.
We're hoping to do more. Basically, we go in, we work with some children who might be specifically on, the administration might have them on a list and say, you know what, they're really struggling at recess, and we'd love some ways to kind of teach them how to get involved. But then we also work with some of the kids who seem socially fine, but let's use some of that leadership. The kid who's always playing quarterback, right? Let's get him now to use that skill to be a leader and to get other kids to join him socially. So our recess program is one of our biggest programs. Then I run different groups. I run, which is my newest favorite. It's called the Rise Above Club, specifically for girls. I like to call it Avoid the Drama Club. Really working with them and how to navigate all that middle school stuff.
Oh, it's so hard. So the Rise Above is catering to what ages?
It's
Middle
basically,
school?
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So amazing. Going back to the school program, is that the schools are contacting you directly and you're working with the school, or is that parents?
So it's a little bit of everything. And it's been kind of like it's hard to, it's hard to figure it out because the administration tells us they want it, and so they've tried to get us in, and we have been in there. The PTA wants us to do it. I think sometimes it's hard to know, who has the access to getting it done. So we've done it through the PTA.
Okay.
But we've also, this past year, we did at MAS, we did 3 days a week. We came in and we observed, we worked with certain kids, we charted data. I had therapists working with them to get them, to focus on those goals, so that they would maybe join in. So it's a little bit of everyone working together. I think there's a need. Again, I think it's hard sometimes though because budgeting, right? There's a school has so many different things going on. So that's something we're always trying to do, because not only as a parent myself, I hear from so many parents that they do see that their kids are struggling at recess.
I mean, it's not only when they're young. It's something that just takes them through life. I mean, what a gift you're giving these kids if they can figure this out when they're younger.
I want them to, and then even as they get older, it's like, I think which sometimes might be against the norm of the message right now, is that we're not all friends. Like I say that a lot to the kids, because when they're little, a lot of times we're taught everyone's friends.
Right.
And I think that could become confusing because then we know as adults, you're not going to everyone's party, right? And it might be hard, but you have to accept that. You have to be respectful of people.
Right, exactly.
You have to tolerate certain things, but we have to teach our kids
it's that social fake. You just got to figure it out.
Exactly.
So that's the school component. So what about after school, or if somebody, like you're teaching classes, I think at locals or something? Is that correct?
I did something there, and in my office in New Rochelle, I do one-on-ones.
Okay.
But we also do very, casual classes. I have one coming up for boys, ages 4 to 6, and if they want to do a little fitness, we'll do a little fitness. If they want to do Legos, it's the backdrop. It's like I find out what they like to do, and then we just kind of go through it. I want them to feel comfortable. It's not a place where, they're being judged. And a lot of times I work with the parents, and I try to tell the parents, now that I'm older and my kids are a little bit older, I try to give parents permission to say, like, don't worry, you don't have to do it. Like, it's okay. Like, you're allowed to tell your child to stand up for himself and tell the other kid who's not including him, give him the vocabulary and tell him, well, I don't like the way you're speaking to me. I think parents sometimes need that permission also. They don't know. They don't know, like, what their role is as far as the social dynamic. Like, am I allowed to, of course, in high school, your high schooler is not going to allow you to get involved.
Correct.
But, in your second grade.
What the boundaries are.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay to get involved. It's okay to say, like, oh, maybe we can have a play date with our two kids, see how that navigates, see if we could help them, things like that.
Right.
Oh, and then we run camps. So we do camps typically just like those one-off days, like I don't run a full camp.
Memorial Day, one-offs, Veterans Day, President's Day, Election Day.
That's right. And we try to incorporate a lot of the local, other vendors and bring them in. It's a very laid-back camp. I always tell the kids, if you don't want to do something, I'm not going to make you do it.
Okay.
As long as you can be socially appropriate or try to be socially appropriate, I'm fine. Like, I'm a laid-back person, and I just think we want to have fun, but we just have to know, like, when someone walks in the room at camp, say hello.
Exactly. It just starts with that.
Just
making
hello.
eye contact, just saying hello, maybe even a smile.
Yes. We just, like the last camp, that's what we did.
It goes a long way.
Yeah. I was like, everyone here, I want you just to practice that. Like, how do you feel when someone does that?
Right.
Because when I've been at schools in the past, when I used to work in schools, I would be in a classroom and the two adults in charge of the kids weren't even saying good morning.
Right.
You know, I mean, we all do it. That happens to so many of us. But how can we teach kids, you know, that social respect if the adults aren't doing it?
Exactly.
So that's
No,
what I
it's just
try.
really starting with the basics again sometimes. And I mean, especially if you just kind of created this company, Build4life, during the pandemic, I think we have children during this period. I feel like we all kind of just need that touch point again, like just start with the basics again.
Yeah, like it could change. It literally can. We all know this. Like it can change someone's day. You don't know.
course.
Just saying hello or how are you?
Definitely.
And that's just those little things that I think sometimes, and our kids want to be social. They want to be
Sure.
kind. They want to be accepted.
Absolutely.
And we just have to.
We all do.
Right.
As a
we all
child,
do.
even as an adult.
Exactly. And I
Right.
say, like, sometimes I'll walk into a party or someplace and I'm nervous, you know, and it's like, that's okay. You can acknowledge that. You
Right.
know, I'm feeling a little awkward or, you know, things
Yeah.
like that.
Well, let's just start with a hello.
Yeah.
So if they want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
So our website is ibuild4life.com. And our Instagram handle is at ibuild4life.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
being here,
you.
Honey.
I
It's
really appreciate it.
absolutely wonderful. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for doing what you're doing.
Thank you
and
so
keep
much.
doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Kato. So nice that you're here today at LMC Studios on the Ave, and you're here to speak on behalf of One River for the Sound Shore Family Guide. So thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about One River.
Sure. So we're an art school, and we have programming for people age 3 and up, you know, to adults.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess we offer programming after school, but also during the days for adults, weekends, and that's during the year. And then whenever there's like school closures or holidays, spring break, winter break, February break, Martin Luther King Day, what have you. You know, we have workshops.
have a lot of
and
breaks.
Little camps and things like that. And then in the summer, we have a ton of programming. Summer camps are a big thing in the summer for K to 12 students. So
Okay.
Yeah.
And are those like week-long, full summer programs? I mean, there's like varieties.
the summer camps programs are usually 5-day programs, half day. But how it works is it's really flexible. So, you know, you do commit to those 5 days. You know, if you choose mornings, it's every morning for 5 days in a row. But you can mix and match. You can do both mornings and afternoons, make it a full day. If you want to do every week of the entire summer, have at it.
Okay.
But if you're going to Italy and then you have sleepaway camp, but you have a week in between,
Right.
you can slot us in really easily.
Yeah, that's actually really good to know and have that flexibility. What kind of experiences are you offering these kids?
So we really focus on not only making art, but exposing people of all ages, all artists, to contemporary art. And so the first thing we do is when we start a project, we introduce them to a contemporary artist. We look at their work. It's usually somebody living and working today. It could be somebody right here in our backyard in New York City, people in Brooklyn, but it could be somebody in, across the world. And we talk about what techniques they use, what materials, maybe their approach, their conceptual ideas, how they make their art. And then we start a project based on and inspired by that. And they begin to brainstorm and sketch ideas. They find reference photos and really start planning their own individual project. And then over the course of the 5 days in a camp, or if it's a class over the course of 5 weeks, once a week, they would, execute that project. And then on the last day, it would be finished and they'd take it home, unless we have an exhibition or something like that. Yeah.
And what mediums do you use?
Oh, gosh, everything. We don't have ceramic kilns, but we do air dry clay. We have drawing, painting of all kinds, acrylic, watercolor, oil painting. When you get into like the 3rd to 5th and then even the teen range, we do resin accessories or resin art. We do street art painting with stencils and spray painting outside in our spray booth. We have tons of digital art options, digital painting, drawing, graphic design, comics, manga, Gosh, I'm sure I'm missing things, sculpture, mixed media. Yeah.
Okay. Everything but the kiln.
Yeah, right. No glass blowing, I guess.
Okay. No glass blowing. Aside from that. Amazing. And if people want to get in touch with One River School, what would be the way?
So there's a lot of ways you can reach us. You can always walk in. We're always there, 9 to usually 7 or 8.
And where are you located?
We're at 2081 Boston Post Road in Larchmont, across from Foley's Hardware.
That's right.
And you can call us 914-893-6111.
And what's your website?
And it's larchmont.oneriverschool.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a chain or is it an individually owned?
It is a chain, yeah.
Okay.
We do have 15 locations overall. It was founded in New Jersey. The founder really wanted to bring contemporary art and like a cool art school vibe to people in the suburbs because he felt like lots of people had tons of options in the city centers. And he was like, why not in the suburbs? Let's bring that, to people out here.
Totally.
Yeah.
Love that idea. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And what's behind the One River name? Is there anything?
Yeah, good question. I think he was talking about how it's one river away from the city centers to the suburbs, being in New Jersey and then now in Westchester, or we also have locations in Long Island, Connecticut, and then a couple franchises in Illinois, Texas. I'm missing a location, but yeah, we're slowly expanding. So yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for bringing One River to Larchmont.
Yeah.
Lucky to have you here.
Love it.
Good. So thank you, Cato. Appreciate that. And if you want to get in touch with One River Art School, please reach out to them. Thank you. Ben Foster, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah.
So I have to say that my children are 19 and almost 18, and I know it's been that long. And my and they went through your programs all throughout all those years. And just so that you know, you must have taught my son very good technique when he was in the goalie camp, because he was without playing for many years, he actually became the goalie senior year of high school and just made
awesome.
the team. I know.
That's
so
fantastic.
I just want you to know that was a nice ending to his high school years.
That's great,
But so welcome, and tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from?
So originally from the UK, as you can probably tell by my accent. I've been over in this area now, though, for over 20 years. So I've coached all over the tri-state area, but I settled in Larchmont Mamaroneck area because I love it here and the community's great. So, and I started Foster Soccer 8 years ago. I worked for different coaching companies before that, and it's been almost primarily based in Larchmont and Mamaroneck. And I actually now live here as well. I live in Rye Neck, in Mamaroneck. Yeah.
So Foster Soccer, what ages do those target?
So we start at 4, and we go all the way up till basically middle school. So Foster Soccer, our programs, our camps, our clinics, we have various programs for basically all ages, all abilities. We've had players that have gone off to D1 scholarships and even playing for their national teams and stuff, and we work with the 4-year-old that's just starting out. Yeah.
And is that something that's after school program, or is it on the weekends?
So with Foster Soccer, we have camps when kids are off school, like days off, random days off school, when they're off school for a week. Like this past week, we just had a camp, a February break camp, and we also run stuff through LMFC that we can get through. So LMFC is the local travel and recreational soccer program for the Larchmont Mamaroneck community, and we are the coaching provider for both the travel soccer and the recreational, a lot of the recreational soccer as well.
And where do you normally practice?
Harbour Island. So 90% of, in the fall and spring, it's nearly all at Harbour Island. In the summer, we're at Flint Park over in Larchmont. In the winter, I have a very small indoor space on Waverley Avenue in Mamaroneck. And we also use Soccer Roof in New Rochelle. Yeah.
And if people want to contact you, what would be the best way to do so?
So to our website, so there is fostersoccer.com. You can contact us through that. Or my email address, fostersoccer1@gmail.com. And then for the LMFC programs, we've just done a really nice new website, and that's lmfcny.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you live in Larchmont, Mamaroneck, Rye Neck,
Yep.
these all funnel into your programs?
Yes. That's what it's for. It's for the community. Anyone that's in Mamaroneck. We say if they live or go to school in Mamaroneck. So obviously there's some people that go to the French American school but might not live in the community, or go to St. John and Paul's, but they are completely welcome to all our programs. Yeah.
And is it something that you feel like when you first moved to the area that it's like something that a lot of the community do? I mean, I remember that that's the only thing that we all did when we moved to town. Everyone joined your program, and so it was fun. You had kids from Larchmont, Mamaroneck, Rye Neck, and then we all were in separate elementary schools, but then we would meet again in the middle school. So it was actually really something very wonderful to have that communal feeling of like, oh, I remember playing soccer with you. I feel like you still get that.
Absolutely. That's what I loved about this community when I first moved here. Like I said, I was working in Connecticut. I had teams in Jersey and Long Island, but here in particular, it's such a great community of really diverse, lots of expats, which I myself am as well. And soccer seems to be, the number one most popular sport, and it serves everyone. I think there was some survey someone was showing me that went out to Mamaroneck Avenue School and one of the Larchmont schools of who's the favourite sport, and it was soccer. And it is that. Many sports can do it, but I think soccer in particular can bring whole communities together, because you just need a ball, you need some cleats. We have a fantastic scholarship fund at LMFC where, regardless of your family's ability to play, everyone has an opportunity, and that's a big part of what we do is inclusion. So, yeah.
Oh, that is really nice to hear. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
And
so I'll talk. I wanted to talk a little bit about the winter programs that we've got.
Okay.
So with Foster Soccer, like I say, what we do is camps and clinics and stuff. And so we had a week of camp at Soccer Roof in New Rochelle. It's a fantastic new indoor facility. Last week they ran from 9 till 12. There are days off school in the Mamaroneck School District, March 10th and 11th. It's half day actually, so we're doing 12 till 3. The youngest kids, like the pre-K kindergarten kids, will be at our indoor facility in Waverly Avenue in Mamaroneck, and the older kids will be over at Soccer Roof in New Rochelle. We also have a camp on March 21st where there's a Superintendent's Day. So if you're looking for activities for your kids, they would be good options.
So really, if there's a day off, they should really just tap into your website and look for you.
Absolutely.
And there's always going to be something available.
Absolutely. Yeah, every time because I know it's difficult. Most people have 2 working parents and random days off school. Like, what am I going to do with my kids? And we're there to help.
That's wonderful. And do you feed them?
We don't. It's only in the summer camps that we do the 9 till 3. Otherwise, it's half days. Yeah.
Okay. And the kids that work with you, for you, whatever, they're all British for the most part?
It's a bit of everything. We do have other British coaches that have worked with me for years. Coach James, a lot of people will know, he works a lot with the younger kids. Coach Gisela, she's actually from Portugal. She's worked a lot. Leon, he's from England. But we also have American coaches. We have some coaches, Angel, Anthony, they actually, I used to coach them myself.
Oh my.
They went to Mamaroneck Avenue School and Hommocks and the high school and played for the high school and everything, and they're now able to give back to their soccer community and actually coach themselves, and they're great with the kids. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
So again, if they want to reach you, best way would be to go to
the website. For our camps, it'll be fostersoccer.com.
Okay, easy enough.
Yes.
Good. All right. Well, thank you very much, Ben.
Thank you. Thanks, Elka.
So I hope that you have found everything that you need and were looking for at LMC Media's Sound Shore Family Guide. Now for you, our little special tip that we have here with Sasha. Sasha, for all of our listeners and watchers out there, what would be a little tip that you have for them?
I think this goes kind of back to my business in general, I think a lot of people say we don't want to go on social media, and I believe in social media for good. And I think one of the first things that really, really helped me get connected was joining the groups, on whether it be Mamaroneck Larchmont group, or there's a group for
Like Facebook groups?
Yes, Facebook groups. There's one for Rye and Harrison and Rye Neck. I think also joining some of the newcomers clubs like Larchmont Newcomers Club or Mamaroneck. And
We have a very active Larchmont Newcomers Club.
yes,
So
yes,
yeah, it's a
and
good
so
one to join.
I think actually just putting yourself out there and going to those things and asking the questions when you don't know. And I think, go door to door to people and just, your kids are going to run around outside and you're going to connect. And I think it's hard when you're not from here, but there's such a welcoming community and you will find your people. It's just about really just putting yourself out there.
Good tip. Sasha, thank you so much for being here again today. And for all of you out there that are watching and listening, I really hope that you found a lot of information that's going to help you enjoy your time here in Larchmont and Mamaroneck. And stay tuned for the next one.
Visit lmcmedia.org/family guide to get more information and find other episodes. LMC Media is a nonprofit media center. Follow us on socials at LMC Media Center and subscribe to our YouTube channel at LMC Media Productions to see more content.